Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Hold on just a minute. Let me turn down Club Quarantine. You know, this is a weekly thing for us. So, what's going on? Your girl is back with another video. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. You know, since my last video, so much has gone on. My state, I'm in Texas. We're doing a soft opening, and it is crazy. People are crazy out there. They've been going to their state's governor's home, you know, to protest about opening up their state because they got stuff to do. They got money to make. And, you know, I understand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to let y'all handle it first, that first round, and then I'm going to see how it does. And then I'll come back. But you guys stay safe out there, really. So I'm back. I know that we were talking about last week. And we were talking about friends, and I was going to bring my friends on so we kind of talk about the kind of values that we look at in friendships. But we haven't been able to get a good time for all of us to be on. So we're going to move ahead. But as soon as we get an opportunity to do that, because we're practicing social distancing, we'll come back and we'll kind of discuss that in another video. And but until then, we'll move on. But since I have you guys here, I did want to talk about something that my daughter and I were talking about. And we were just talking about self-esteem in young women. And she was just kind of asking me, you know, just kind of reflecting on some of her friendships that she's made or friends that she knows and from college. And just kind of how it just seems like, you know, young women her age, you know, their self-esteem is really low. You know, just kind of how they feel about themselves is really low. And how they place their self-esteem in what others think about them. You know, and it got me to kind of thinking, you know, how I was when I was in my 20s, and self-esteem was an issue. You know what? And I can't even tell you if it was. I don't believe that it was. You know, it's definitely something that we don't talk about often. We don't kind of express, especially in the Black community. We don't really talk about high self-esteem or low self-esteem. In how it kind of transcends into your adult life if it's something that you have never kind of addressed or even got under control, depending on, you know, what side of the coin you're on. And, you know, and I told her, I said, you know, what I think is interesting is, you know, you can't know how you show up in someone else's life until you know how you show up in your own life. So, you know, who are you? You know, outside of the labels and the things that you do, you know, if you are a cheerleader or a basketball player or football player or whatever extra activity you're in or whatever you do often, or what people say about you, like, who are you? When you look in the mirror, who do you see? You know what I mean? And so until you're able to know who you are and how you show up in your own life, you can't expect to know how you show up in someone else's life or how they think you show up in their lives. And so it just really comes down into walking in your truth. And that's something I believe you don't even learn until you're much older, because for one, it's something that we're not taught. We're not taught to, and I'm gonna say this, it's gonna sound weird, we're not taught to be honest with ourselves, you know, because we go through life putting on this facade of what people expect us to be, what our parents expect us to be, and how to act. You know, how do we go out into society and how do we show up and represent them? You know, how we act and how we are in a school setting, how we are in a job setting, how we are in a spiritual setting, you know, any setting, friendships, relationships, all of that. We always show up as who the people want us to be. We're technically not taught and told how to show up in with our genuine selves, because a lot of times we do not really know who our genuine selves are. We don't know who we are as an individual, because we're so caught up in being what we can be for others. You know, my parents want me to be this and to act this way. You know, my teachers say I have to act this way and say these things. And so, and then when I'm out with my friends, I'm a totally different person. So we go through that transition of becoming who we are, and finding our truth comes with a lot of trial and error. It is not something that you are going to gain overnight, you know. one of the things that my friends and I, we talk about often is some things that we were taught when we were younger, young ladies. And, I always remember about lessons. And, as parents, we try to teach our children by giving them the knowledge that we had. And we can only give them what we know unless we've tried to seek and gain knowledge from somewhere else as we've gotten older. So we try to give them lessons so that they don't experience the things that we had to experience. So we try to teach and tell them the errors of our way, our ways, so that they can do something different, so they can be a bit more prosperous and not have to kind of endure things we endure. And we always talk about lessons that are taught, lessons that are bought. And you do not want a lot of bought lessons. Bought lessons are very difficult to even overcome, once you're buying them, because you have a thought process of, how did I get here? Why did I not listen to what someone was telling me that has already gone through this? And so, that's just kind of what I want to impart on you guys today, is just, being able to walk in your truth is a level of honesty that most people never really get to. And sometimes you're forced to do that. Sometimes it comes with tragedy, something that's happened in your life that has caused you to really take a look in the mirror and realize who you are as a person. And then sometimes it just kind of comes with, maybe some aha moments that happen. A humbling is what I call it. In the greatest humbling, in my opinion, is a humbling from God. God will humble you in such a way, honey, that you have to really take an examination of yourself. And in that moment, you will be able to see yourself for who you really are, the good, bad, and the ugly, because we all have it. So just kind of like, subscribe, and share this video. And in the comments, you guys tell me some things that you guys have had to endure and deal with in order to kind of walk in your truth, and what insights you might have, and how we can impart those insights to the younger generation. Because I don't think that we were taught, a lot of things that I've learned as an adult, and our parents can only give us what they knew. And so in my quest to be a better parent, I've always tried to seek out information from different areas, even different cultures, to find out, what I can give to my daughters and my son as well, that can, sustain them for the future. So you guys let me know what some things that you guys do and what kind of struggles that you might have with it. I know one thing that we don't do enough is communicate. We do not talk enough about the things that we're struggling with, because a lot of times we want to portray and come off as if we have it together. And that's just not true all the time. We don't always have it together, and you don't have to. It is very important to seek out knowledge that you do not have. When you're trying to gain knowledge, you cannot go by what you think you know. The Bible even says lean not to your own understanding, which means get an understanding from somewhere else. You don't always have the answer, and you don't have to always have the answer, so there's resources out there for those of you just, looking for, you just kind of have to search it. So we'll be back next week with another video. Just kind of piggybacking on this topic and seeing what you guys are talking about. In the comments, again, leave me some insight on what's happening with you guys and how you're able to kind of grow in this process of quarantine. What's some things you guys are doing, some projects you guys are working on. I would love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, share this video. And until next time, guys, be sweet.